Republican Party claims to be against cancel culture, number one. Number two, the Republican Party claims to be a big tent party where they welcome all this different stuff, different views, different people. But they don't actually do that. And there is a very interesting new article that the Wyoming Republican Party is no longer recognizing Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney as a Republican. This is the very cancel culture that they claim to be against. Look at this. The Wyoming Republican Party voted to no longer recognize Liz Cheney as a member of the Republican Party. The state party Central Committee, I like that, 31 to 29 vote followed similar votes by Republican officials in roughly 1/3 of Wyoming's 23 counties. It's laughable to suggest Liz is anything but a committed conservative Republican, said Jeremy Adler, a Cheney spokesman. The vote marks the Wyoming Republican Party's second rebuke of Cheney following her vote to impeach former President Trump for his role in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. She is facing a quadruple primary challenge in Wyoming. But what's very interesting about this is that very uncontroversial things get you canceled by the people who say don't cancel. The right says we don't do cancel culture. Cancel culture is bad. What did Liz Cheney do? She voted what she believed was her conscience in terms of Trump's January 6th impeachment. And she says Trump lost. She's still a Republican. She still voted with Trump. I think it was 93% of the time. This is a committed Republican, a devout Republican. But saying Biden did win is something that can get you canceled by the modern Republican Party. Now, if this were reversed, if you had a Democrat who had crossed party lines to agree with what Republicans were saying, and Democrats voted to say this is not a Democrat anymore, Fox News, Newsmax, all the right-wing media would do a week on the Democratic Party has been hijacked by extremists who have no tolerance for dissenting views. They cancel, they do silence from the national media on what the Wyoming Republican Party has done. Now, the truth is, the Republican Party actually was captured by extremists starting in, you can go back to the 80s, certainly by the time Newt Gingrich becomes Speaker of the House in 1994. It's a cult. It's the norm now in the Republican Party. And Barry Goldwater had really predicted this. Barry Goldwater said, mark my word, if and when these preachers get control of the Republican Party, and they're surely trying to do so, it's going to be a terrible damn problem. Frankly, these people frighten me. Politics and governing demand compromise. But these Christians believe they are acting in the name of God, so they can't and won't compromise. I know. I've tried to deal with them. And of course, Barry Goldwater was right. And it's been not only pastors that have taken over the Republican Party, but just conservative Christian individuals in great part who want to see a Christian version of Sharia law be the ruling sort of doctrine of the United States, and extremists of other kinds as well. Goldwater predicted one piece of it, but not even really the full scope. It's actually even worse than Barry Goldwater has predicted. So there it is. Liz Cheney canceled by the party that is about stopping the cancellation they claim the left is doing. We'll have more on this on our Instagram. You can find that at David Pakman Show on Instagram. You can also follow me on Instagram at david.pakman.